Welcome back in another episode in the Sovereign Renaissance. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be discussing the hedonistic narcissistic cult and what are the dynamics and what is a hedonistic narcissistic cult. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life, the day you finally stop being ordinary and start being essential. Imagine a door that only opens for those who are ready. Behind it, there is no dogma, there is no dusty scripture, no judgment, only the piercing, magnetic gaze of a leader who claims to have decoded the very fabric of reality. They don't just want your devotion, they want to inhabit your mind until your own thoughts feel like echoes of theirs. It starts with the whisper that you're special, and it ends with the realization that in a room full of mirrors, the only reflection allowed to matter is the leader's. A narcissistic cult is a group or organization centered around a leader who exhibits pathological narcissism, often combined with traits of Machiavellianism or psychopathy. Unlike traditional organizations, these groups do not exist to serve a mission or their members. They exist solely to regulate the leader's ego, provide them with the supply, admiration, and power, and protect them from accountability. The dynamics within these groups are often described as a large scale version of a narcissistic family system characterized by extreme control, gaslighting, and an us versus them mentality. How the leader operates. The leader is typically represented as a charismatic, enlightened, or uniquely gifted individual who possesses exclusive knowledge or a special mandate. The love bombing. New members are showered with affection, praise, and a sense of belonging to make them feel chosen or home. Creating dependency. The leader systematically breaks down a member's self esteem so they believe they cannot survive spiritually, financially, or socially outside the group. Moving the goalpost. The leader's approval is the ultimate prize, but it is kept intentionally elusive to its members in a state of constant performance and anxiety. How members operate the hierarchy. Members are often characterized by the roles they play in maintaining the leader's reality. The roles are fluid and can change based on the leader's whims. Number one, the inner circle, the enablers. These are the most devoted members who act as the leader's protective shield. The flying monkeys, named after the characters in The Wizard of Oz, these members carry out the leader's dirty work. They may harass defectors, spy on other members, or smear the reputation of anyone who questions the leader. The lieutenants, they manage the day-to-day operations and enforce the leader's rules, often being more rigid than the leader themselves to prove their loyalty. Number two, the rank and file, the sources. Most members fall into this category. They provide the labor, funds, and adoration that fuels the cult. Performance of devotion. Members often compete to show who is the most enlightened or loyal, creating a culture of internal spying and reporting. And fucking each other up. Excuse my language. Self-correction. Through a process of thought reform, members learn to suppress their own intuition. They feel something is wrong. They are taught to blame their own ego or lack of understanding rather than the leader. Number three, the scapegoats. At any given time, the group needs a target for the leader's frustrations or the group's collective failures. Isolation. When a member is designated as the scapegoat, other members are forced to shun or correct them to maintain their own standing. The warning tale. The scapegoat serves as a visual reminder of what happens to those who are unworthy or disobedient. Common behavioral patterns. Shared delusion. Members adopt the leader's language, quirks, and worldview. This groupthink creates a barrier that makes it difficult for outsiders to communicate with them. Exploitation as service. Members are often convinced that working long hours for no pay or giving up their assets is a form of sacrifice for a higher cause. Fear of the outside. The world outside the cult is painted as dangerous, evil, or spiritually bankrupt. This makes the idea of leaving feel like a death sentence. Understanding these mechanics is often the first steps in identifying whether a group, whether it's a small spiritual circle, a political movement, or a high pressure corporate environment, has crossed the line into a narcissistic cult. Do you see these dynamics more often in small private groups, or do you think they are becoming more common in larger or public facing organizations? Red flags of a cultic dynamic. Number one, no accountability. The leader is above the rules they set for others. Number two, information control. Members are discouraged from reading circular or critical news about the group. Number three, exploitation. A clear one-way flow of money, energy, and time towards the leader. Lastly, gaslighting. A systematic denial of a member's reality or experiences. Key takeaway. A narcissistic cult is less about shared ideology and more about serving the leader's ego. Recognizing the signs, charismatic manipulation, suppression of autonomy, and cycles of abuse is crucial for protecting oneself and others from exploitation. The exit door. The exit is really a door. It's a mirror you finally turn away from when the spotlights dim and the incense clears. You realize the enlightenment you were promised was just a shadow cast by a once man's bottomless need for attention. You don't leave a narcissistic cult by finding a new path. You leave by reclaiming the voice they convinced you was the voice. You leave by reclaiming the voice they convinced you was an interference. The greatest act of rebellion against a leader who demands to be your everything is simple. A quiet decision to be yourself again. The throne is empty, the pedestal is cracked, and for the first time in years, the only reflection that matters is the one looking back at you, whole, messy, and finally free. And if you like today's video, please do like, share, and subscribe. It will help us greatly with the algorithms and getting the message across. And until next time, goodbye.